Bowser is an iconic villain who we've seen in countless games and other media, but the portrayal of Bowser in the 2023 Mario Bros. Movie really stood out to me. Not only was the art and music great, but the acting by Jack Black really knocked it out of the park. However, what I thought was particularly interesting about this film is how they shed a light on a type of stalking that is often overlooked and underrepresented in film and TV. So take a seat and let me walk you through a psychiatric assessment of Bowser, looking at the motivations and behaviours behind this villain. With any character, it's important to start with their background, but unfortunately we're not given much of that in the film, nor in previous games or other media. What we do know is that Bowser is the powerful leader of the Koopa Kingdom, and he wants to marry Princess Peach, despite knowing that she despises him.
Of course she hates me!
This, unfortunately, is stalking, though not the type that you're probably more familiar with in other films or TV. Let me explain. In psychiatry, there are generally considered to be 5 types of stalkers. The rejected stalker, which is someone who is usually trying to reconcile a relationship or hurt their ex-partner. The resentful stalker, someone who feels they've been mistreated by the person they're targeting and wants to get revenge. The intimacy-seeking stalker, who is lonely and seeking a companion. The predatory stalker, who wants the feeling of power and control over unsuspecting victims. And finally, the one I think that best fits Bowser, the incompetent suitor. An incompetent suitor generally wants an intimate relationship, but their advances can be insensitive or inappropriate, and they are usually indifferent or blind to the distress of the victim. We frequently see Bowser behave this way in other media, as he tries to repeatedly capture Peach despite her rejection of his advances. In this film, he appears to naively believe that she will marry him despite all the naysayers warning him about this prospect.
Well, what if she says no?
Incompetent suitors in the real world often behave this way due to poor social skills or cognitive impairments, which impact upon their ability to understand social cues or act in a socially acceptable manner. In Bowser's case, his behavior appears to be due to poor social skills and a lack of understanding that simply having power or giving gifts will not make someone fall in love with him. Whilst this type of stalker may mean well, their behavior can still come across as quite terrifying for victims, especially as the stalkers may continue with the behavior that victims find terrifying without caring or being aware of the fear or harm they are causing. Because of their lack of insight or understanding, an incompetent suitor type stalker will often continue with these behaviors despite any pleas or refusal by the victim. Sometimes rejection can also lead to the stalker acting in a way more consistent with a rejected or resentful type of stalker, such as how Bowser becomes angry after Princess Peach turns him down and begins threatening her and her friends to get her to acquiesce to his marriage proposal. This unfortunately is how it can sometimes play out in real life too, when stalkers get rejected. Another common issue with this type of stalker is their tendency to put the blame on others due to their lack of insight into their own behavior. Similar to how Bowser later blames Mario for having ruined his chances at marrying Princess Peach, victims in real life can often already be in relationships, and therefore the stalkers may think that the only thing preventing them from having this relationship with the victim is their partner. This may then result in stalkers trying to do something to end their relationship or take the partner out of the picture. Fortunately, incompetent suitor type stalkers often have a better chance of responding to treatment and interventions such as court orders when compared to other types of stalkers. In terms of treatment, the focus is often on improving their social and courting skills, which tends to lead to less inappropriate behaviors. Although we're able to sympathize with Bowser's initial intentions and his poor understanding of social cues, that's no excuse for his behavior. He ignores Princess Peach's rejection, blackmails her, harms others to force her to marry him, performs torture, and even goes as far as to hurt his own people simply for his own satisfaction. He's extremely self-centered and arrogant, though he may be able to reform with some treatment and time. Anyway, that's all the time we have for today's session, so if you enjoyed this or found it useful, please book in for your next session with the subscribe button below, and let me know in the comments if there are any other characters or topics you'd like me to take a look at.